Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at security roles and the new security permissions in the new UI. It's probably not that new these days, but I've been working on a project lately doing a lot with security roles, so wanted to do a video on it just for those of you who are not familiar with it. So let's jump in. There's two places you'll be able to find the security roles. First, you can go to the Power Platform Admin Center, go to your environment, into settings, and then just search for security roles. And I am now loving the new dark mode setting in the latest Admin Center UI. So once you're in security roles, then you can search for the security role you're looking for. So you can find anything related to customer service. Now, what I'm actually going to do is show you a copy of this in the Maker portal. So let's switch over to the Maker portal because I want to show some things changing. So here we are in the customer service security role. This is what it looks like. Very different these days to what it used to look like. So if we switch to the old classic view, let's go into the security role and have a look at what you might have been familiar with previously. So here we are. This is the classic view. Not that nice, but you get the key here of the different privileges, and then you get different settings or sections here that give you a breakdown of all the different tables where you can then set those privileges. Okay, so let's come out of that. Don't forget, best practice, don't edit the standard roles. Always copy the role and create one, and then you've always got the standard role to fall back to if you need to later on. Okay, so we've made a copy, so let's go back. So now we've got the copy in our solution. Let's go into it and have a quick look. So what do we see that's different here? So instead of having all the tabs along the top for the different sections, they're now here in nice expandable sections. So I found that don't worry too much about trying to find what you're looking for in terms of tables in there. You can leave them all expanded. You've got tables along the top, miscellaneous privileges and privacy related privileges. We'll look at those in a second. First of all, tables. You can select this to show all tables, show only assigned tables, so only anything that's actually has a privilege assigned to it at the moment, or only unassigned tables. So that's tables where everything is set to none. As you can see, everything is set to none here. Now, when I've been configuring this, I've found it easier to just say show all tables and then use the search up here. So if I'm looking for account, then it's going to bring back everything that's relevant, and I can actually search by the name as well. So if I want to search by the schema name, you can do. Okay, so this is much easier to navigate. The fact that you could search for a table is excellent. You can turn off this compact grid view if you want to. I actually quite like having it on. Allows you to see all the different options and privileges that you can assign to those options. Now, what you can't do is easily update the row of privileges for each table, which you used to be able to do in the classic view, and that is slightly frustrating. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so if we go into the classic view for that new role I've just created, let's go to core records. Let's say I wanted to update activity. If I wanted to update everything for the activity and set the privileges to be aligned, I'd be able to just click on activity and you can see the privileges changing. Now I always used to find that super helpful, especially if you are configuring a ton of different tables, loads of different custom tables. I always like that feature. If we come out of that and go back to where we are, you actually can't do that here in the new UI. You have to go into each privilege and set it between none, user, parent-child organization, and business unit. So you have to set that for all of them. Now, as soon as you start changing it, you get an asterisk next to it and you have to go up and save. Okay, so always remember, you've got to go back and change that and save it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just set some options. So the first three I'll set as parent-child, and the rest I'll set as organization, because I just want to show you what we can do here with the new permission settings. Okay, so we've got the asterisk. That just means change has been made. You also get it next to the table name as well. Come up here, click save. Always make sure you click save. You don't have to do it every time for each table. You can change multiple tables and save all in one go, but I just like to track progress that way. Now, if you click the three dots next to a table, you'll see permission settings. If we click permission settings, we can go and learn about those. I'll put a link in the description below. And what we can see here is table permissions. So setting the privileges for each table in your app can be time consuming and tedious. To make it easier, you can copy the permissions from one table to one or more others. Okay, let's go see what that looks like. So if you load up permission settings, what you've got is a set of predefined settings that you can apply. So if you wanted to turn off all access to have no access, you could just select this here, click save, and it applies none across the board for create, read, write, append to, delete, all of those. It's going to turn them off. If you want full access to everything, and that would be at org level, you can apply that. If you want collaborate, then you can apply that, and it's obviously showing you here across the different options between create, delete, read, write, all of those. Then it's going to show you what privilege. So it's going to show you organization for create, organization for read, and then user for the rest of them. And then if you want private, set everything to user, and then reference, it just gives you read. So that is actually super helpful, but you do have to do that per table. Now, this custom option is just showing you what has been set for that particular table at that particular point in time. So if you save that, it's going to apply those privileges to that table that's been selected. Now, what you can do is come down here and say copy table permissions. So if you want to apply those specific permissions against multiple tables, then you can come in here and find a table, and you could select multiple tables, or you can just select one and click save. So remember, we did parent-child, parent-child, parent-child. So we'll save that, overwrite the contact permission. So this is just saying basically it's going to apply the permissions of the account that you've set up, and it's going to overwrite those permissions onto the contact table. We'll click yes. So we're looking for parent-child on the first three and then organization on the rest. So let's go have a quick look. So we see the contact here, we can see it's applied exactly the same. So that is a super quick way that you'll be able to apply table permissions across different tables. And as I say, you can do that against multiple or a single table, as we just saw. Miscellaneous privileges. Let's take contact out of there just so you can see. So these are things that you might have seen in the classic view, kind of down below table settings, reporting services, bulk edit, bulk delete. So you definitely want to pay attention to those. So when you're setting these up, make sure you go and have a look through miscellaneous privileges and just make sure you're showing all privileges just so you can go through and have a look. Now, Microsoft is still pretty terrible at documenting what each of the privileges mean and actually what does that do. So a lot of the times you're going to have to spend some time just kind of setting it, playing around in a sandbox and just testing it out. It can be quite difficult to track it down. But I have found that asking Copilot with a decent prompt is quite useful, especially if you end up copying out the schema name here for that privileges. Okay, and then privacy related privileges, very similar. So document generation, export to Excel, those kind of things that are quite key that you probably want to lock down for certain users. So that's everything I wanted to go through. Hopefully that gives you some help, gives you some value. I hope you find it useful. Subscribe to the channel so you get notified for more videos like this, and give it a thumbs up. If you use Dynamics 365 and you're creating security roles and you've got some other tips and tricks that you want to share with us, then add them in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you manage this as well. Until next time, thanks for watching.